Plaintiff Crystal Outerbridge says she and the defendant were best friends for 30 years, but they're in court today because she feels the defendant used and betrayed her. Crystal's suing her former friend for his storage fees. Defendant Pamela Green says the only reason they're in court is because she and Crystal got into a fight after Crystal criticized Pamela's boyfriend. Pamela says she hasn't spoken to Crystal since their blowout, and that's why she hasn't paid her.
All right, start with you.
Well, Your Honor, Pamela and I were friends for 30 years. We've been friends since junior high school. We were both two loners. We met and we just became instantly the best of friends. I'm suing Miss Green also because I feel like I've been betrayed. My trust has been betrayed. I feel like I was used and lied to. When I met Pam, I was 12 years old, and we did everything together. We played hooky together. I had my first cigarette, which also turned out to be my last cigarette with her. I mean, when I met her, I was still a virgin. Okay, so it's been a very long time. I've known...
Go ahead. You might not want to throw that in the future, talking about how long
I apologize,
it's been.
Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. We've gone through so many different life events together, and it didn't matter whether we were separate or apart. We were always the best of friends. We were best friends when she went into the armed forces, when she was traveling all over the country as a successful magazine saleswoman. We've been best friends through my marriage, through my divorce, through my having children. You know, we've always been there for each other. We've always cared very deeply about each other.
You all ever fall out?
No, not really, you know, until this whole incident occurred.
Let me allow her to give some background, and then we'll get back to you. Ma'am?
Problem with Crystal is she likes to tell everybody that she knows everything and she's always in somebody's business. And she started calling my man an elderly bum. And, you know,
Why?
Well, he was a bum.
Because, yeah.
She didn't do anything wrong.
Well, the thing about it is she was so animated about it. You know, it's like she should mind her own business. I didn't tell her about her man being a bum, and he was a bum.
60 years old, Your Honor.
He was 60? How old was she at the time?
Late 30s.
Okay.
And that's the only reason we.
How long ago did she call your boyfriend an elderly bum?
This was in February of
this year?
2010.
May I ask you something, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. This all started when...
No, let me allow her to give some background.
Sure.
Because you've given, I thought you were going to say something very quickly. Sounds like you were going to give kind of a speech.
Okay.
All right. So let me allow you to resume before I get back to her.
Well, it made me not want to, you know, see her that much anymore because I stayed at her, when I came to her house, I stayed a couple of nights, you know, after I brought my stuff. And I was going to ask her could I stay longer, but she was always on the computer with the kids, and she didn't act like she was really my friend anymore.
How many children does she have?
She has 4, but it seemed more like 6. But besides
that made
the
you
cat,
feel like she wasn't your friend anymore?
No, because without the kids.
I got news for you. She's supposed to be with her kids.
I understand.
Over you.
I understand.
Let me hear from you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I've heard of people jealous of a lot of things, but not of a woman being with her kids. Go ahead.
Your Honor, all of this started in January of '09. Pamela had contacted me, and she said that she needed a place to stay because she was having problems with her boyfriend.
What'd you call him?
Elderly bum.
The elderly bum. She's having problems with the elderly bum, so she
Being the best friend that I am, I told her, of course, come right on over, and, you know, let me see what I can do to help. So she came by, and she stayed a couple of days. During the course of the time that she was at my home, she revealed to me that she was having problems with him. He was going to kick her out, and she didn't have any place to keep her belongings. So she asked me if she could keep her belongings in my apartment, which is a 1-bedroom apartment, but I didn't mind. I told her sure. She said she would pay me $100 a month. I thought that she'd be coming with maybe 8 or 10 or 15 bags or something. She came with nearly 30 bags and boxes, duffel bags, big cardboard boxes and huge garbage bags of stuff. But I didn't turn her down because she was my best friend. So she brought all the stuff. I figured the best thing to do would be to put it in my bedroom so it wouldn't be all like crowding up the living room and stuff. So I took all of it and I put it in my bedroom. Well, it was so much stuff, it literally almost ran me out of my own bedroom because I'd be getting up in the middle of the night and stumbling over bags and boxes and bumping my toe on stuff. There were a lot of times when I slept in my living room, you know, just to be away from it. Well,
how long was she to be there?
Originally, she said it would be a couple of months, 3, 4,
How
5
long
months.
were her things there?
Her things were there for 14 months.
Okay.
Until
And
March of 2010.
She said it would be a few months.
That's right.
What did you tell her the 4th month?
I didn't really hear from her again after that. I would try to call her occasionally. She'd let it go to voicemail. I'd leave a voice message. She wouldn't return the call.
What do you think? How often?
Oh, I tried to call her at least on 3 or 4 different occasions. And
Over
when
the
I saw
course of what time frame?
During the course of about 3, 4 months. And when I saw she wasn't returning my calls, I stopped trying. I said, sooner or later, she's going to get in touch with me. All of her stuff is here.
Right, well, that doesn't sound like that's too much for you to call more than 3 times over the course of 3 months.
Well, I guess I could have tried more, Your Honor, but I have a son who's disabled, and I'm very, very caught up in dealing with him. It's kind of, maybe I could have tried more, sure. Finally, she did contact me, and she said she was going to come and get her stuff.
When was that?
This was in March of 2010. And when she showed up, I asked her what she's going to do about settling up. She said she didn't have the money to pay right now, but she signed a promissory note so that she could pay me later.
You have that with you?
I do. I do.
Ma'am, let me hear from you.
Well, like I said before, the only reason that she's been doing this is because of the argument that we had over the phone. And she was...
That's the only reason she moved your stuff in?
No, I'm saying she moved my stuff in because I really did need the help.
When did you all have the argument?
We had the argument...
After?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why I did not return any of her phone calls.
Even though your things were there?
But she's my friend. She's supposed to help me. You know, when I was with her through her divorce, I was with her through her kids.
Were your things interfering with her comfort?
Well, I didn't know it was interfering with her comfort.
You didn't move it in? You didn't move it in?
Yes, sir, I
Did you see how it looked when you left?
Well, yeah,
And you couldn't tell whether it interfered with her comfort, friend, 30-year friend?
Yeah, but I figured since she's my friend...
You got this woman's house stacked up with your boxes.
I didn't think about it like that, Your Honor. I probably could have been a little bit more sympathetic.
Sympathetic?
To her needs.
Responsible. For yourself. Did you all agree that you would pay $100 a month?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I say something?
All right.
Ms. Green just mentioned that she was disturbed and felt as though I was not her friend, not only because I was taking care of my children, but because I was on the computer.
All the time.
I was on the computer a lot, that's true. That's because I was working on a book that I wrote based upon my life story because I was sexually abused between the ages of 5 and 15 by 8 different male family members. I went and got years of therapy to help me deal with the anger issues involved with that. And my therapist advised me to write because I'm a good writer in order, to just clear things out of my head. And it turned into an 800-page book. That's what I was working on at the time that Miss Green came back into my life.
Did you tell her that?
I did tell her that, and it
did
seemed
she tell you that?
She was just always on the computer.
Your 30-year friend was always on the computer. She says writing a book about being sexually abused during her childhood, during her formative years, and you're saying that she never told you what she was writing.
She said she was writing a book, but then I'm writing a book.
She didn't say. I said, did you know she was writing a book? No, I didn't know anything. All I know she was on the computer. All I know she was on the computer and spending time with her kids, and I don't like that. Why that woman spend time with her kids? Why she on the computer writing a book about her life so she can get therapy? That's a terrible thing. That's why I left that stuff stored up in her place where she couldn't walk around, where she had to sleep on the couch. She's gonna have to pay her today, $1,400 for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would love to see us get our friendship back because this is really ridiculous and we've been friends for too long for us to be fighting like this.
I'm sorry that, I let it go to this point, too. I love you.
I love you, too.